All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the December 12th meeting of the Metropolitan School District of North Posey. And we will open the meeting by joining me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Dr. Galvin, not Mr. Galvin. I love that. Congratulations on you receiving your doctorate. That was
Appreciate it.
outstanding personal accomplishment. It'll be hard for me to get away from calling you Mr. Galvin. Dr. Galvin, would you read our district's vision, mission, and core beliefs, please?
So we inspire all students to achieve their potential for learning and life in a safe and supportive environment. Our mission is we partner with our community to create a dynamic and innovative educational experience, empowering students to become educated, productive, and responsible citizens. Our core beliefs is we believe our community is vital to our educational success. Everyone is valued and treated with respect, and always telling the truth, and educational opportunity for all. Student-centered programs, challenging and inspiring learning, and the pursuit of excellence through a strong sense of pride. Our high priorities are enhancing the student experience, investing in teachers and administrators, fostering strong relationships among all, and maximizing resources.
Very good, thank you. All right, the first item on the agenda is patrons' concern. I don't show anybody signing up for patrons' concern, is that correct?
That's correct, but we have a student presentation tonight.
Okay, so we'll mark patrons' concern accordingly.
No, we're not in public hearing.
That's what's wrong. Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
You said that. The only one that
look at me.
This
Make sure,
last one.
make sure my wife hears that, right? All right, next item on the agenda is our minutes, claim docket, and consent items.
Mr. President, would it be okay if they went and did their presentation so they could leave?
They don't want to stay for the moment. That's right. Yeah. That's
Go ahead and start.
We'll all do the intro.
All right, we have Mrs. Lashley here with us this evening, and this past year, what we have done is Mr. Kavanaugh came to us at the end of last year and asked to add some additional electives at our junior high for our students. And so Mrs. Lashley came forward, and one of those additions was our agriculture, introduction to agriculture class. And so she's been working very hard of creating a dynamic curriculum for this class, and so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Can I add one thing real quick?
No, you're not allowed to talk.
Well, then that's fine.
Mrs. Lashley.
I just want to give her props. She went back to put that on her license so we can teach it, so thank you for doing that.
Oh, there you go.
Excellent, thank you.
Great.
So I'm just going to talk for a little bit, and then they're going to do the rest. But as Dr. Galvin mentioned, our STEM committee does surveys twice a year to students, to parents, to teachers, and to community members. And one of the things we were asking was if there was any other electives, and we were trying to connect something to the graduation pathways in the high school. And agriculture was something that showed up a lot in both the student and parent survey. So this is the first time we've done this class. I have 23 students. All 23 students created this presentation on their own. They went by they chose to organize it by week so that they could kind of highlight all the things that we're doing and covering all the different domains for our Exploring Agriculture class. So even the ones who aren't here had a hand in making all these slides. And are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, they're going to take it away.
So, go ahead. So, first week, what we did. Go ahead. So our first project, during the first project agriculture, we learned about the 9 domains. We split up into 2 groups and got assigned a domain, and then each of them presented in front of the class whenever we were finished. First one is leadership. Second one is supervised agriculture experience. The third domain is plant, soil, and horticulture science. Fourth one is natural resources. Fifth one is animal science. Sixth one is agribusiness. 7 is food science. 8th is power, structure and signal systems, and 9 is careers. Week 2. We started to go ahead and focus on our garden tower. Mrs. Lashley split us into groups again. The groups were for, weather group, soul group, seeds group, and light group. Like me, I was in the light group. What we did, we made sure the lights worked. We had to get the timer because we had a timer set for whenever they would turn on. We had to set the timer and make sure nothing was wrong with the lights. Like we had a problem with the lights, we had to look up like information like what was wrong and fix it. No, go ahead. Week 3.
Hello, I am in charge of week 3 and 4 for this presentation. For week 3, we were creating the Gaga pit in front of our school for another fun activity for us to be able to do. And the first thing we did was countersink the wood or drill holes in both sides, one a little bit smaller than the other one. The second thing we did was clear coat of the wood with sealer to make sure it didn't rot or anything, so it would be able to last longer. The third thing we did in the process of making it was basically putting it all together like Legos, just piece by piece. Fourth thing was basically just assembling the bolts, because you gotta put it in the brackets, then you have to put in the bolts. And the last thing was just playing, having fun with our creation. So here are some pictures of us. This is where we were, well, where Mr. Kavanaugh was explaining us the paddle bits and the countersinking, where we were putting it together, and then we of course had to carry the boards over. So there's Chase playing in it, and then there's us coating it with the sealer there, and stuff. And then there's a few more pictures of us drilling more holes.
So what's Gaga Ball?
Gaga Ball is let me figure out how to say this.
It's a dodgeball game to your feet.
Yes and no. You basically stand in an octagon and you use your hands to hit a ball, okay? And you cannot let it hit your feet. If the ball hits your feet, you're out and you have to step out of the ring, and it's last one standing wins.
So what if you knock the ball out of the ring with your hands?
Then you're out. If you knock the ball out, you're out. If you knock the ball, it hits another person and it goes out, you're out. No.
The other person.
Yeah, no. But that's
So-
Gaga Ball.
Gets intense, huh?
Yeah.
I like it.
You don't
Right.
kick the ball. You just
No, if you kick the ball, you're out. So, next slide. Then we have a little bit more pictures of us building it, more drilling holes, painting it with sealer, putting it together. All right, next slide. And this is week 4. For this, I don't know if, yeah, we already had this. It's basically a garden tower we had where we were gonna plant seeds in it, like right here in these little pockets, and they were gonna sprout up into individual plants. But that did not go as according to plan, as many things do. So we had to fix mistakes. We had to correct the composting, and the seed planting, the thinning, composting. Pretty sure most of you know, you have apples, other things just break down and make the soil fertile, rich. Seed planting is pretty self-explanatory, just planting seeds. And thinning is where we were growing the little plants in these separate things that we can join. It's weird, I don't know the name, but we're gonna take them out with the roots and plant them into these little spots, because they wouldn't survive if we just planted the seed in there, I don't think. But that's thinning, and we damaged the roots a little bit too much, making it to where it could not support life very well. So we had to do all that. And where did we go from here? Well, we talked about what we wanted to do in class, what we want to study as far as agriculture and things related to agriculture. Like one of the things recently we did an ag invention project, which was pretty fun. So I believe that is the end for me. Yes, so on to Jacob.
On our week 5, we had a guest speaker come in and learn about the history of agriculture. She talked to us about the trade and economy about agriculture. She was a guest speaker from Posey County Purdue Extension office, and she explained about the food web and how it works. Week 6, we unboxed our tool sets, and Miss Lashley placed them around the room to see how we could use them and help with the safety and which ones would work for different things. We also had the high school ag come down and talk to us about what they did in their ag class and how they work with agriculture. And we also did the transplanting of our tower garden.
So on week 7, we made a homecoming float. And for the first couple of days on Monday, we started planning what we would do for a homecoming float. And we decided to make 2 drinks. And so we split up into different groups and kind of like designed our own idea for the drinks in our 2 different groups. And what we did to make it, we used big trash cans to make the base of the drink. And we took paper and wrapped it around, and making the logo was pretty simple because basically we just drew it and taped it on there. And also I brought in my horse, and that was really neat because I got to share my experiences, what I do with Storm, and that's his name, and like what I do with him, like I compete with him a lot, and so that's just really neat to do, and it's really a fun experience. And I also talked a little bit about where I volunteer. It's called Riding Hope, and that is where a few girls from our stables, we take our horses down to this kind of like indoor arena, and so children in like wheelchairs and disabilities, they would like get on like these trained horses for like therapy, and so they might work on like hand-eye coordination or something that would help them with that. And so here are just a few pictures of us working on the floats. And then down here is where I brought him in and talked a little bit about him. For week 8, Avery, she talked a little about pole horse, and that was really cool because it's always cool to see a different perspective of like another horse owner, just to see like how they handle the horse differently than we do, because we can learn something from that, and that's always good. And Miss Lashley we heard from a conservation officer, and he talked a little bit about his job experiences. And Mr. Kavanaugh also came in and talked to us about safety tools and when to use which tools. And that was really important because just of safety, and you really don't want to get hurt while working with stuff like that.
Okay, so this is week 9. So on week 9, we started to discuss agritourism. So we all created businesses with value-added products in them, and that would make us good profit. And the businesses were Jack Farms, the Fruit Bar, FMDC Farms, Martin's Pumpkins, and Maced Out. The one that I was in was the Fruit Bar. And then these are pictures of us whenever we were presenting them and us bringing in our value-added products as like an example for Miss Lashley could see them. And then these are my animals. The little pony laying down, his name's Loki. And then this is a cow, and his name's Bo. And then week 10. So week 10, we continued on our agritourism projects. And we also had Aaron come in, and he talked to us. And he was also from Posey County Purdue Extension. and he talked to us about composting, and he helped us build the box that we put our worms in that he brought in, and he taught us like how to feed the worms and like how we're supposed to give them apples, and like so with the apples, if you start them at one side, they'll like work them all the way through to the end, and then they'll be gone.
So in week 11, we had bought some trail cameras from Amazon. We put them outside to see what we have found in the woods or around the creek. We had submitted a salsa recipe that interested us to Miss Lashley so as to make in a later date. Week
What'd you
12,
find on the trail cameras?
At that specific time, because we moved them 2 different times, we did not find anything. But in the next area, we found 2 deer, a squirrel, and I think a bird.
Neat.
You go with our archery class.
Week 12 was based on farm to table. We carved pumpkins. We talked about farm to table, and Miss Lashley made seeds, pumpkin seeds, and made pumpkin pie in a cup. It was basically pumpkin, pudding, and graham cracker, and you can have the choice of adding whipped cream to the top. We also started working on this presentation, and we had another guest speaker. His name is Officer Carter. He came and talked to us about how agriculture impacted his hot sauce business named Carter Sauce.
Week 13, Mrs. Lashley showed us and explained to us how about her chickens and how they live. They like, and then we did lots of catching up that week. Also, we traded out the trail cams that we placed out in the previous days. Then we went outside and discarded the pumpkins that we had carved, and then we put them in front of the trail cams so that the animals could eat them and we could catch them. On Wednesday, we talked about turkey production in the U.S. and other producing countries. On Thursday, we moved the trail cams, and we continued to work on our turkey production assignment. On Friday, we learned about pig to plate. In this picture here, you can see the 2 deer we caught. Here is a squirrel, and then here is the bug we found. On week 14, we started to make the salsa that we decided to make. First, we put the tomatoes in boiling water. We peeled the skins off. We cut them up, and we also cut onions, peppers, and garlic. We used a food processor to mix it all together, and then we ate the salsa. We also ate hacienda salsa and compared the two. Here's our recipe that we used.
Which was better, yours or hacienda?
I think hacienda.
You gotta keep trying.
Ours was a little bit spicy.
That's good.
On week 15, we continued working on our board report, and a speaker from Purdue Extension came in. The speaker talked about his past careers with sports fields and golf courses. On week 16, we worked on our board report again. We started on our ag extension project. We had a guest speaker. We also had a guest speaker who spoke about his careers in agriculture.
Week 17. Like at the beginning, we started making our like own children books and like was writing them all, and then we had to like color them and everything. And then we you could start them from scratch and like write them down and everything, or you could just Google slide it and then print it out and stuff. Then we had a couple of guest speakers come in. One was Keith Belt. He was just talking about how he went from horses to tractors and everything. And he was also talking about how he had so many businesses throughout the country and everything. And then the lady right here, she talked about how drones like can spray all different types of chemicals and stuff instead of tractors, because it can like get it done a lot faster and like get in this certain area that tractors wouldn't be able to. And then this is what we still have to come after. We're doing like a holiday tree debate. We're seeing if like it's better to like grow a tree versus just go buy a like fake tree and stuff. Then we have a guest speaker that's going to talk about landscapes. Then we have another guest speaker that's a hog farm. Then we're going to like read our books we made to the class.
And that's our presentation.
Okay, we should have done this at the beginning, but can you introduce the kids?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want them to introduce themselves or do you want me to introduce them?
You have them introduce
Why don't you
themselves.
say your name?
And what grade you're in?
I'm Ace Cox and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Carter Kissel and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Jacob Nellis and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Crew Wills-Bacher and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Ryder Mountain and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Lily Hester and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Ella Mott and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Japheth Garrett and I'm in 8th grade.
This is just an 8th grade class. then.
Yeah, well, see, I don't listen all the time. That was outstanding, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great
very,
job.
very, very good.
I kind of want to come take that class.
Come on. It's fifth period.
I spend a lot of time there. It's fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's fun.
12:34 to 1:18. You're welcome anytime.
So I will say as a parent, my son never talks about anything school related, and this one he comes home and is telling us about the things he does. So I think it's been a great class for him.
That's outstanding. Thank you so much for doing that. That's-
Absolutely.
What is the official name of the class? When,
I think it's exploring agriculture.
and this is the first year you're on?
Yes. Yes.
So we're gonna do it again.
Yeah. Oh
Sounds
yeah.
like.
Next semester, I've got about 23 more kids, different kids signed up. So it's a one semester class.
Great, great.
It's still 8th grade.
Yes, always.
So how did we fit this in the curriculum?
Well, one of the things we did, we took away the strength and conditioning was an elective. So by ending that, we started looking more at pathways, and this one fit real well with the pathway with the high school.
Mhm.
And especially in our area, as you can see, we have a lot of interest. And again, a thank you to my teacher for going back, putting that on her license where we could offer it.
Very nice.
Impressive.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions for us?
How many of you are gonna go on to take agriculture in high school?
Would you have done it before you took this class, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
you would have taken agriculture regardless?
Yes.
Maybe not.
Maybe not?
It depends. But like Miss Lashley was a great teacher, so and she really taught it good.
That's a smart kid. Right
Grades are no, yeah. Yeah.
Well said there. Do you get into agricultural sales? Because I see some sales.
Yeah. We did a little bit with agribusiness.
I will say their presentations, they really got into them. Several of them made shirts. I mean, come in with matching made shirts. They really have gotten into the projects. Just, I mean, everything. They're putting everything into it. It's been very impressive what they've done. The students themselves have done a great job.
That is great. Well done.
Mrs. Becky, is this a set curriculum or did you develop this? It's very eclectic. It has a wide variety.
Yeah, so
Did you
it's,
develop this
yeah.
yourself?
Yeah. The domains the domains are set, and then a lot of the because it's a middle school class, and so a lot of the standards are very loose and like, here's the domains, but kind of just introduce them to all of this stuff. So it's a wide variety, and I just developed it.
She's that good.
That's fantastic.
Well, you guys are and gals are more than welcome to stay for this exciting meeting, or you are more than welcome to leave.
Don't feel bad leaving. I'm probably
No.
also
Don't
gonna
run.
I mean, it's okay if I leave.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Good job,
Thanks,
guys.
Good job, guys.
Bringing it over. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Good job.
What you guys-
Really good job.
No, you know I wouldn't sit there. No, you're good. You made it. It's all good.
How do we top that?
I don't know.
This is like a downer now.
Kids should always be.
I do, that's what I was thinking, that, you should have said that to Lindsay, make sure you have kids there. It's probably the most fun part.
Keeps you focused on what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
The way that they allowed students to kind of weigh in and vote and what they wanted, and that's how it shook out. And the strength condition was on the list, not like they just cut it. It was like, here's the list of the options. If the kids pick.
That is good. All right. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes, claim docket, and consent items. We'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, claim items, and everything.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Colley and seconded by Mr. Schmidt to approve the minutes and claim dockets and consent items. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. New business.
First up this evening, Mr. President, is we have the consideration for the proposal for the energy efficiency projects from Duke Energy. As you are aware, we're getting ready to sell that general obligation bond, and so the proceeds from that will cover the cost of this. And the reason why we're going ahead and getting moved on this is since we're coming up to the end of the year, their sales rep didn't want to lose the rebate that we're getting from them. So the actual total cost of the program of the process is $129,817.90, but the actual cost to the district is $79,772.80. They did a walkthrough with us last week to kind of look at the project and things, and we're hoping to get moving on this fairly quickly. So after the first of the year, so we bring that forward for consideration. And the biggest reason why we did this was because it's going to save us energy and help out. So we felt like it was a good situation. And they approached us back, I think, in October or so, and we just didn't have the money at that time to be able to do it. But when we decided to do the general obligation bond, we thought this was a definite wise one to invest in.
So this is referring to the bond that we just decided
Correct.
to do. Okay.
Yep.
So that is a for sure, nothing, it will go through type of a thing. Like, what if we
Yeah,
connected this?
so we checked with that, and we
Okay.
said that, he just said it's mainly just locking in the rebates if something would suddenly happen and the bond wouldn't sell. He said we'd be okay. No
Okay.
big deal. They're not going to hold us to it or anything. Yeah.
That was one of my questions.
Yes, thank you for asking me that.
Well, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract with Duke.
Second.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Schmidt, seconded by Mr. Colley to approve the contract with Duke for the energy savings. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
And the other part that we've talked a little bit about as well, and actually I'm going to pay for this out of the operations fund, is the DeBrock Kemple maintenance of the boilers at the North Posey High School for $6,324. We're going to go ahead and get this taken care of out of the operations fund for this year. And so we're recommending this, and this will be taken care of over Christmas break. That's the reason why we decided to go ahead and bring it at this time, and they can get it done over Christmas break. So
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposal from DeBrock Kimball for the maintenance of the boilers at the high school.
Second.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Mrs. Will, seconded by Mr. Colley. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All
What
opposed?
did they put in at the high school a couple weekends ago? What was that?
that was the HVAC system. You're talking about the big one that they have the
Yeah.
two big camp cranes in. Yeah, that was a new unit. So they brought in two cranes. I think it was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, if I remember right. And one crane lifted the old unit out, and the other crane put the new
Yeah.
unit in.
I pulled up there for a driver's ed class, and looked back there and I thought it was a coal mining operation. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so we're excited. So they're getting that all hooked up. The junior high one, the RTU unit on the office is up and running. So that's good. So
Did you get that vote for purpose? All right.
next up, as you are aware, we have a contract with Ascension Tri-State Clinics. They've asked for an amendment on that contract, resulting in an increase to the clinical staffing rates to reflect their benefits and decrease to the monthly management fee. They also anticipate a decrease to the variable expenses such as labs, medicines, and supplies. So if you notice down there, the administrative fee dropped from about $4,590 to $3,791.81. Some of the other proposed costs, like the clinic nurse, clinic provider, MD oversight, those kinds of things have gone up a little bit. Estimated medication has dropped. Estimated labs have dropped a little bit per month. Estimated supplies have dropped. Estimated vaccine has dropped, and estimated wellness has dropped. So, and as you're aware, they've approached us a couple of times. I think the last one, if I remember right, was I want to say it's Barton's. Waste Management had joined us, or was considering to join us. I don't think they have yet. So these smaller companies have approached Ascension asking if they could join, and it just helps to bring our costs down a little bit. Sometimes we need to add some additional hours and stuff, but that doesn't pass off onto us. So it just really makes our services better for our or for our staff. So anyway, we're bringing that forward for your consideration.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract with Ascension Tri-State Clinics.
Second.
One second.
A motion by Mr. Schmidt, seconded by Mrs. Will to approve the contract with the Ascension Tri-State Clinics as presented by Dr. Galvin. Any comments or questions?
I do want to give a quick comment. I don't know how familiar everybody is. We have an insurance committee that meets, what do you think, Amy, quarterly almost? Probably.
A little less than that.
Maybe a little bit less than that. That looks at our health insurance costs as well as our usage of the clinic. And so we have a representative that comes to these meetings from the clinic. She provides documentation showing how many visits we've had, what do people come in for, what medications are they using, and those types of things. And so this committee, which is made up of teachers, administrators, support staff as well, nurses, they oversee kind of the workings of this. And I know, like, when I first came in 2.5, 3 years ago, we were having a lot of issues with the clinic. We kind of met with them and said, hey, these services need to improve, or we're looking at going someplace else. They really worked hard in improving the services. And like this year, we tried to, they came in, they went out to faculty meetings, they met in schools with people and stuff to try to talk and explain their services, which has kind of helped to keep our insurance costs lower. So we've tried to really communicate better what services that can be provided through our clinic. So I just wanted to give you that information if you didn't know that.
Perfect. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Next up on the agenda this evening, we received from the Indiana Department of Education the TAG grant, which is the Teacher Appreciation Grant. That is only for certified teachers. And so every year we come in and all of our other support staff, as well as there's some areas such as school counselors, e-learning coach, school psychologists, speech therapists that aren't covered underneath that TAG grant. And so what we do is we provide that stipend to those individuals as well. And so you have there in your proposal what we are proposing for building administrators, bus drivers, other certified staff not covered by the TAG, food service staff, classified staff, as well as part-time classified staff. So this includes like all of our instructional assistants, custodians, all those individuals. So unfortunately, we can't get it out by Christmas. So it'll probably be in January that we'll be able to pay this because of just the way it fell.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the stipends as listed.
Second.
I'll second it.
So a motion by Mr. Schmidt, seconded by Mr. Colley. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
The next agenda item tonight, just so that everybody's aware of this, we had posted to have a public hearing tonight on additional appropriations in the amount of $350,000. As I shared earlier with the board, we do not need that additional appropriation tonight. Mrs. Luke, for our district treasurer, figured it, kind of looked back at our accounts today, and we're going to have enough appropriations to finish out the school year. So we always keep that close, and it worked out. So kudos to her. So that's why that was not considered this evening. Next up, you have professional leave. Mr. Gentile's benefit. I'll read these for you tonight. Perfect. Ben Walden is asking to go to the Indiana Music Education Association Professional Development Conference. Shannon McMunn and Jenna Deere are asking to go to the SIAC Science and Health Textbook Adoption. You'll have other teachers participating in that next month as well, because there's quite a few. And then Jordan Deeds as well. So that went up there. So.
Entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the professional leave request.
Second.
I'll say, go ahead, Amy.
I'll second.
So a motion by Mr. Colley, seconded by Mrs. Will to approve the professional leave request as presented by Dr. Camp. Any comments or questions?
Dr. Camp?
Oh, man. That bad?
Go back to
Blast from the past.
Man, that's
That's
bad.
the gig for him reading.
That's a good point.
He did that on purpose.
That's a good point.
That sounds like something I'd say.
Oh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. My apologies.
That's okay. Reports and information, 2023 school board meeting dates. I guess you've sent that out to them, maybe. So they have it up there. So those are in your packet. So our next meeting, of course, we're going to continue on with Monday nights, if everybody's okay with that. Looks like we got a couple that we need to change. One being April the 10th, which is Easter Monday, the Monday after Easter. So we may want to take a look at that. The next one, Thursday, October the 5th, or Monday, October the 16th. Of course, you've got fall break in there, and usually the school board conference, which I think we have that date for next year, but we'll have to take a look at that. So, so we'll need to look at changing those two dates. So what we'll do is we'll bring back to you guys some recommendations on those dates. So is that? Next up, we had scheduled working session with Dr. Balch, just kind of a school board session, training session with you guys. We're looking at kind of January 18th, 19th, or 31st. So if you guys don't mind checking your calendars, and this will be the first time that Lindsay will kind of work with us as a board and kind of help fill her in and stuff. So
18th, 19th.
18th, 19th, or the 31st.
Okay, got it.
So check your calendars.
It's much more funny when it's somebody else.
I know. So, and then if there's no other things tonight, this is Mr. Gentile's final school board meeting of this evening. So if you want to come up here, we're going to recognize you, Jeffrey Gentile, in appreciation for 11 years of loyal and dedicated service for the MSD of North Posey County, dated December 31st, 2022, which is the end of your tenure.
Aww.
But we appreciate very much all of you guys and the staff and students.
Let's go hold that pose. Can't lower down. I'm not coming. Oh, nice. Oh, here. Oh, I think I got your arm in there.
Well, you didn't want
That's all
that.
right.
That's
I'm
true.
gonna get, yeah, I'm glad you did. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Here's that, so you don't break it all out.
Thank you for all your time and effort and
Yes.
hard work and sweat.
Well, I
Patience.
appreciate it greatly. I tell people a lot that I felt like our board was so much more enjoyable and productive working with our board than some of the malcontent you were hearing out across the state that was happening in different school corporations for various reasons over the last 11 years. But we've gotten a lot accomplished, and I don't think any of the buildings look the same as they did 11 years ago. Staff doesn't look the same as they did 11 years ago. And we've done a lot of good things. It's a great community. It's a great corporation. You guys will continue to do great things. So it's been an honor.
It's been a pleasure too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for helping us all along too.
There you go.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much, and we will miss you. So I know you're still gonna be here in the community, and I know
You still have patron concern.
I know
right?
you still have patron concern. I was gonna say, I will still see you at basketball games and football games, and I'm sure you'll be in my ear, but anyway, we appreciate all you've done, and I just want to personally say thank you for giving me the opportunity to come back home and serve here in this capacity as superintendent. It's been an honor to work with you, so thank you very much.
Thank you for taking a chance on an outsider.
Same. You make me smile probably more than anybody else. I appreciate you putting up with all that. Thank you, guys.
Are we meeting all 3 of those nights or just one of those?
Just one of those nights.
Okay.
Just one of those nights.
I'm available any one of them.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So that's all we have tonight, Mr. President.
Anybody else have anything for the good of the cause?
I did email the good news report.
Yes.
We're gonna get it out on social media as well too.
And also today on social media, the STEM video went out as well. So if you guys want to take a look at that.
I have a quick question. On the other certified staff not covered by TAG, would that be school counselors, e-learning coach, psychologist, speech, those this list up here?
Yeah.
Okay, and okay, I thought it would be that. Thank you.
So how did our We the People group do? Do we know? Did I see
I
that?
forget what place.
They did
we-
well.
They did
I know
well.
Yeah, but they did not, they didn't place high enough to go on, I guess. But I don't even know if they ever
It was their
really
first
posted.
year, right?
Yeah.
It was their
Correct.
first
And
year.
they did very
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
You know, considering it was their first year, they did very well.
So did they have a local competition and then a state? I thought they competed twice, so.
Yeah.
I got a lot of comments about that in the community, so I think a lot of people appreciated the fact that, for one, Mr. Kirkman taking that on, and for two, the excitement and of the kids willing to participate in that, so.
It's one of those things you just don't see anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Well, I was really
You know,
excited
it's
about the
forgotten
Const-
or-
you know, they're studying the Constitution,
Mhm.
and I mean, that's good. I mean, we've got people with the federal government right now that don't know what our Constitution says in it, so.
I think I heard somebody say or read that the Kirkman said this has been his most fun year teaching because of that.
Put that was on Facebook, I think.
Yeah, so he's obviously enjoyed it just as much as the kids have, so.
It's important they came in the summer, they've come after, they're in other athletic events or other academic, they've sacrificed some to do that.
Yeah, they were in there on days we didn't have school. You would see
Right.
pictures of them in the classroom, so kudos to them.
Yeah.
All right. Without anything else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
A motion by Mr. Schmidt, seconded by Mr. Colley. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I figured out.
I just know left all their Christmas gifts at home.